Step 6. Connecting the final result to the customer application and done. At the final step, Step 6, the result of the work should be delivered to the customer. All these steps are taken so that the last one is carried out correctly. You know that no matter how professional you work and how much time you spend on it, nothing is done until the customer approves of it. But now, you know that as long as you take the mentioned steps in a principled manner, the final output which is discussed in this section will be its best. All right. The items we talked about so far were for you to work with as an SSAS professional. It means that the customer does not know the Visual Studio and SQL Server, and isn't interested in them either. The customer expects to receive a simple application where he can select some simple options and be notified of the status of his business. As mentioned earlier, the customer might want to display total sales graphically by selecting a specific date, product, and store. Now, which tools should we use in this final step, which is also called the interface? And do I have to master these tools as an SSAS professional? The answer to the second question is actually no. It means you don't have to master these tools, but you definitely should know about them and how to connect to them. Now, the answer to the second question will become easier to understand if I answer the first question. Which tools are used in the interface layer? Specialized tools can be used in the interface layer, which is going to be delivered to the final customer, such as Power BI, which is exclusive from Microsoft, and has been optimized excellently for SSAS. After you carry out the implementation and deployment in the previous steps, all you gotta do at this stage in the Power BI environment is to connect to the OLAP database and display the output in the form of pretty diagrams. That's where you'll realize that working with this tool is as easy as fragging and dropping. And the main work was what you had to do in the first 5 steps. There is another group of tools that are not exclusively made for this type of work. For instance, you can display the output on a website, mobile application, etc. You can even display the final output to the customer in the Excel environment. By the end of this course, we'll master how to deliver the final output to the customer in the form of a real application. This is what I promised you at the beginning of the course, and you'll definitely get this skill by the end of the course. So you see that the final output in the interface stage depends on the project goal. We can use specialized software in this field, such as Power BI, or create the output in the applications that the customer has access to, such as websites. Both can be done using SSAS facilities. The exciting and excellent part is that you can do all this in the SSAS 2022 environment easily, and almost all of it can be done as in Wizards. Don't you find that amazing? So this was the first part of our honeymoon. We took 6 theoretical steps to carry out SSAS projects. I'm sure you're waiting to enter the second part of this phase and practice these steps. That's what we're gonna do shortly. In the second part, we're gonna enter the specialized environment and take the steps entirely and in full detail just as we discussed. We're gonna move on based on the order you see in the figure and read the data of our project. Design a map for the project based on the star schema. Discuss dimensions and facts and their correct and principled connections, and then implement them based on the map we've designed. The dimensions, facts, cube, and all the relevant parts. Take the final result and store it in an OLAP database, and eventually take the output of the work, the OLAP database, and connect it to Power BI to get a nice output out of it. Of course, we'll display the same stages in another form, and with another goal in an application in Phase 3. Are you ready for the second part of this phase? So, let's go, my friends.